do you feel like you watched it differently and you were kind of more attuned to the ads, or was just so much going on you were kind of consuming it like normal? Jess, what did you feel different watching it, or?
I think it was mostly the same. So it's worth noting, my older sister and my brother-in-law both work in the business. So
Okay.
we're a pretty obnoxious crew to watch with. There are a lot of opinions. My poor husband, who is not in the business, is like, can we just watch it like normal people? No. So I think for me, it felt kind of similar. For most of my adult life, I've ended up watching the game with other advertising people. So I always feel like we're a little bit judgy. And there's like a lot of shushing during the commercial breaks so we can hear and see what's going on. So it felt the
Brilliant.
same for me.
Russell, how about you? Because you had a mix then of Adland people and not.
Yeah, it's funny because I thought it probably would be good to just not do anything that different while I was watching it, just to try to experience what it would normally feel like. And so I did watch some of the ads ahead of time, which I guess I always do that anyway. You see, articles come up, and so you kind of watch some pre-things. So I kind of knew some things going in, but tried not to do it too much, and was really curious to kind of pay attention to how other people reacted as well, because I don't know, the one way I always think of it is it's almost like Rotten Tomatoes, where they have the fans and they have the critics. And so we're the critics, or advertising people, Ad Age. Their top list is very different from the USA Today, which that group I was with was much more like the USA Today, which is another sort of national poll that's more fan based.
Yeah, and that's interesting. And Cliff, with your group, was there a mix of people in the advertising industry, or was it kind of just pure sports fans?
Yeah, so my girlfriend, she is in the business as well. So same thing, we critique really hard. And the people that the people that I was with, they weren't in the business. And I think the other phenomenon is that if it's a good commercial, but more so if it's a bad commercial, I feel like everybody who's not in the business blames us for it because we're in the business. Like every bad commercial, I felt like they looked at me and I was like, I didn't do it. I don't know. It's not my fault. So there was a lot of that, or almost like, well, why did they do that? Like they were looking for explanations throughout the commercials as they were playing. So it's an interesting sort of dynamic, which I always feel like we get always the blame when it's a bad commercial, like asking why something was done. So it was interesting, and I think there was a few times where I was out of the room and they were like, oh, this is a good one or this is a bad one. I had to rewind and check it out and look at it and they go, oh, this was awful. But yeah, so it was a good mix.
And